sincerely apologize for bringing the news late. This was due to some technicalities beyond our control. This is Hope Channel Zambia, television that changes lives. You're catching us live from our Lusaka studio on Top Star Channel 450 and the movie bouquet on channel number 25, as well as our live stream on our social platform, YouTube and Facebook, the handle being Hope Channel Zambia. Let's take a look at stories making headlines in our news today. Government intervenes in fortune trading and Mutoya family impasse. Kawana promises reduced meal prices in the next 2 weeks. ADRA Zambia and CBM of Germany partner to roll out the DIDRR project in Zambia. And Gemba Mission District Pastor's House, which has been under construction for the past 12 years, has been completed. I'll be back with the details after this.
My wife, bumper harvest. Eh?
Daddy,
I'm telling you.
your new fertilizer. Niamini.
Eh?
Daddy, my
Tell you.
Hello, my instructions. I
went to ETG, and now we are enjoying the benefits of using a blended D-compound fertilizer as basil and Kynoplus as top dressing fertilizer instead of urea that we used last year. Now look here. This year, it has given me 4 tons. 4 tons. But last year, it was only 1.8 tons. Kynoplus has given all my crops the nitrogen that I paid for. Wow. It has saved me money. Telling you.
Understanding the difference between soil and crop-specific fertilizers, therein lies strength for Kynoplus blended fertilizers. More value in a bag. Available in the ETG depots countrywide, with a network providing agronomy services to farmers across the country. Kynoplus. Enhanced efficiency through innovation. A product of ETG.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bright Sinkozi with the details. And on sign language, we have George Kalimukwa. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security has resolved the impasse between the Mutoya family and Fortune Trading Management over Stanley Mutoya, who suffered a stroke attack while in transit to South Africa on duty. Labor Commissioner Givens Muntengwa has told Hope News in an interview that Fortune Trading Company will foot all the bills of their employee and his wife, who is on the bedside, including evacuation of the couple back to Zambia in due course. The Mutoya family expressed gratitude over the turnout of the meeting. Yesterday, the family complained of the inertia from Fortune Trading Company, which refused to foot the medical bills as well as accommodation bills for Mutoya's family, who are in South Africa. Details are in this report.
This is the Mutoya family that appeared on Hope News, appealing to government to help them repatriate their ill relative, who is currently admitted at Whitport Hospital in South Africa, where he was attacked with stroke while on duty. Yesterday, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security summoned Fortune Trading Limited management to appear for a meeting. And today, the meeting took place, but this reporter could not get hold of Fortune management as they had already left the ministry and could not answer the phone calls. However, the family told this reporter in a telephone interview that they are elated with the outcome of the meeting.
Bwanji meeting yenewa mwaendera ko ushamundimo wakondwera olo chidi bwanji
awe even fokondwera nkane mutesendera kuenda chape bwino.
Okay,
takambisana chape bwino olo beve wenzi wabwera na masteni na ukali wao kwa maparasi ba foka takambisana chape bwino. Ozivenzo beve bane bafika kuja bawauza onkanye metabwera kuno nyasoso mukamba po bwanji veve nokamba kuti awe ise uyu muntu panana dwala timalipira mabills ku hospital chani kaili uyu muntu pamene enze lili uko kwamene enze lili uko amini ku hospital after dwala uyu officer anamtenga kumpeleka ku hospital but manje wafunsa question pamene anampeleka ku hospital kuli amene uyu officer imwe munatumako phone kuli ba family kubazivisa kuti uyu muntu ali kuno niwodwala olo bwanje olo ni uyu officer anawazivisa chapi kwa sira we kaili wenzogwera ku ma offices every day ma offices sinaendeko every day sinaendako kamozi pa Thursday after tambira tadwala tinafika kuja ku ma offices vanatiuza ati uyo muntu naise tamvera lero but track inanyamuka manager day but kumvera iwe but vamvera manje the following day kuti uja muntu anadwala kuseni 05 uja muntu so manje after futana paja mpaka bamfusa fusama question yawe tuuze manje vili bwanji awe ise wa family stinga watapase tandizo ili yonse ise tandizo yatu ni hospital chabe ngati uyo mkazi wake aliko uko afunika che kukala pa bedside kwamene kuja notice kumulipirira ko gona olo kumsakira vokuja iyo nsto ya family so ivamuza tawo palamulo uja muntu enzo kusebenzerana so imwe ufunika taking care muntu amene anamkonka uko kozi kulibe muntu anadwala kuchala kwabe nangala yeka so uyo mkazi wake pamene anabwera kumfunika taking care kumpasa vokuja kumulipirira kwamene agona since hospital anamulesa kugonamo at least ndio hospital anamvomekeza but anamulesa naye mfuna azigona kuti simumamfunza kumtumira ko phone uja ali ku hospital sakudya sachika bwanji so ise tikupasani manje lamulo mune muzayuzingira lamulo ya boma manje ndiyantiza konga so ndi mavere wamuzira ti ma expenses yabaje wakazi kuja uzambochita ndiwe transport yoenda ku hospital ndiwe plus uja ali ku hospital kumuona kuti mabills yake ya hospital kuja ngati wafuna muleta kuno ku Zambia ndiwe vonse uzachita last day kavomera teti ziva ndise tifuna kuchita vonse so ndi mometa sirizirana.
Ministry of Labour and Social Security Labour Commissioner Givens Mutengwa confirmed to Hope News in an interview that Foshan Trading Limited would take up the financial responsibility of their worker and the wife who is on his bedside. Mr. Mutengwa says Mr. Mutoya will only be repatriated back to Zambia once medical experts advise to do so.
And the issue was resolved to the extent that the company will meet the necessary costs, and they will be at some point reimbursed by workers' compensation, saying that it's an urgent matter at the moment, so it cannot wait. So there's that agreement, and all things being equal, I think one of the family members will also have to go and be by the bedside of the employee, although the hospital but now has come in and is ready to expend something for the good of the employee. Over and above, at the end of it, workers' compensation will come in and subrogate the parties to the extent that is within the...
Hope News crew will continue to update the nation on how Mr. Mutoya is faring. Esnat Sikaswa, Hope News, Lusaka.
Now, Ministry of Media and Information Director Tabo Kawana has assured the nation that milk prices are expected to reduce in the next 2 weeks. Kawana has maintained that the country has enough maize in store, which should not warrant the exaggerated prices the country is currently experiencing. He has retaliated the call made by the Minister of Agriculture last week that a 50-kilogram bag of maize from the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, be sold to millers at 200 kwacha, who in turn will reduce the milk price. Mr. Kawana has also indicated that FRA has been allowed to sell maize to small-scale millers across the country. He has since called on those in the habit of frustrating government's efforts to desist and warned that those who will be found wanting will face the heavy arm of the law. Here's a report.
Government is concerned with the high cost of living being experienced in the country, especially mealie meal prices that are fetching at 300 kwacha per 25 kilogram in Shangombo. Media Director Thabo Kawana disclosed that the millers have assured government that they will work with other millers to flood the market and will be sold at a proper price.
We have also instructed FRA to start selling maize to the communities in our far-flung areas. As you may be aware, that the maize, the minimum you buy in established 10 stores within Lusaka, Copperbelt or Line of Rail. Unfortunately, our brothers and sisters in places such as Shangombo or Mwandi do not have the luxury of having those chain stores in there. Therefore, they are being exploited by unscrupulous traders who are selling mealie meal at a price of 300 kwacha per 25 kg bag. So
he has assured the nation that it will experience reduction in the mealie meal price beginning next week.
They will be able, or they are able now going forward, to buy from FRA at 200 kwacha for a 50 kg bag of maize meal. And therefore we expect that within the next 1 week or two, the price of mealie meal will stabilize and normalize. And we will not be hearing of people buying mealie meal for exorbitant prices such as 280 or 300 kwacha for a 25 kg bag of mealie meal.
Mebo Chitimbiti reporting for Hope News in Lusaka.
In other news, Republican President Mr. Hakainde Hichilema has appointed his spokesperson Anton Walia as Deputy High Commissioner at the Zambian Embassy in the neighboring United Republic of Tanzania with immediate effect. Mr. Walia will deputize former Livingstone Member of Parliament Matthew Jerry. Ministry of Information and Media Director Thabo Kawana confirmed the development at a media briefing in Lusaka today. Mr. Kawana says appointment of Mr. Walia into the diplomatic service should not be considered as being fired or demotion, considering that he is still serving the nation only in a different capacity. He said at an appropriate time, President Hichilema will appoint another spokesperson who at the moment is passing a vetting process. According to Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, President Hichilema has thanked Mr. Walia for the services he offered as spokesperson at State House. Mr. Kangwa said the President is confident that Mr. Walia will serve the government and the people of Zambia to the best of his ability in his new role in Tanzania. Mr. Walia became President Hichilema's first presidential aide after assuming office in 2021.
Spokesperson will be appointed, but as to who, we cannot know until the day of the announcement. So we can move away from the speculation of saying, no, you know, a person will be appointed. I can give you a hint as to who. It is actually a person. It's a human being.
Government says Zambia will host the International Vision Zero Conference this year in September. Labor and Social Security Minister Brenda Tambatamba says the conference seeks to promote better practices on the well-being of the employees in workplaces. Ms. Tambatamba says government wants everyone to enjoy their well-being in their workplaces, as it will enable employees to work in good health and sober manner. She said her ministry will continue to promote decent work agendas, which will result in decent job creation.
And increasing job creation opportunities arising from business linkages facilitated by the bank using its international presence and connections as I listened to Madame, the HR expert. She talked about how we are growing our personnel, talent management, upskilling, and getting some of them to rise to levels where Zambia will also be a flag carrier in the industry within our country, to see some of your talent taking up leadership positions in the sub-region and around the region will be something that we would be be gratified by. Would as much as they would list ZRA, ZDA, PACRA, and all these places to go to as the priorities to go to, this ministry is one of those, and in fact a top priority, because labor is here, management of human resource, and people, what you call it here, that people culture, and I like some of the words you have used, talking about opportunities for people. This is the place. It's opportunities first, productivity, and growing a larger economy that we should all benefit from. So this is who we are, and we always say, we reach out, we extend an olive branch to those that are registering their companies, be it from our SME pool, from the cradle. That is the cradle where we're growing the businesses of the future, the enterprises of the future, to those that are coming from other jurisdictions through FDI to come and invest in Zambia. We always say, this is your home to come to first. The Labour Commissioner and his authorized officers, our authorized officers, and all the other departments and services that are offered here are very important. And if all our industry paid that attention, then we would have a better relationship, a more complementary role that we play in creating that industrial space that is ideal to create prosperity of our nation.
This is Hope Channel Zambia, and you are watching the news. Just now, let's take a break. More stories on the other side. Don't go away.
Are you looking for a place that sells fresh, healthy vegetables and fish? Well, look no further, because New Roberts Fish and Veg Limited has what you are looking for. We have a wide variety of healthy products to satisfy your taste buds and help you in your healthy journey. We have a fully stocked butchery, farm-produced vegetables, and live fish. Yes, you heard me correctly, for that guaranteed freshness. So what are you still waiting for? Call 0976 543 822 or 0955 108 708 or 0965 691 909, or visit Chilenje, which is behind Total gas station. Because at New Roberts Fish and Veg Limited, we believe only fresh foods are good enough for you.
My wife, bumper harvest. Eh?
Daddy,
I'm telling you.
your new fertilizer. Niamini.
Eh?
Ieve daddy
Tell you.
Hello. My instructions. Maya kunkabuno bwino mwamene.
I went to ETG, and now we are enjoying the benefits of using a blended D-compound fertilizer as Beso and Kynoplus as top dressing fertilizer instead of urea that we used last year. Now look here. This year, it has given me 4 tons. 4 tons! But last year, it was only 1.8 tons. Kynoplus, has given all my crops the nitrogen that I paid for. Wow. It has saved me money. Telling you.
Understanding the difference between soil and crop-specific fertilizers, therein lies strength for Kynoplast blended fertilizers. More value in a bag. Available in the ETG depots countrywide, with a network providing agronomy services to farmers across the country. Kynoplast. Enhanced efficiency through innovation. A product of ETG.
Is the fast-paced world making you miss your favorite Topster programs? Download the StarTime's own app from Google Play or Apple Store. Then link your decoder to the app and watch TV anytime, anywhere. Open the app and click on Me to sign up. Click the decoder service. Then enter your smart card number and last 6 digits of your decoder serial number and click link. Now you can change bouquet and make payments for your decoder using the app. Download the app now.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. And now for the rest of the news. The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA, has launched a risk reduction project termed the Disability Inclusive Disaster Risk Reduction, DIDRR. The project's goal is to reduce increased risks to persons with disabilities that are linked with climate-related hazards by strengthening inclusive disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation in Zambia. The DIDRR project, which is expected to run for the next 3 years, will be funded by the German government through the Christian Blind Mission, CBM, with Gwembe, through the Christian Blind Mission, CBM, with Gwembe and Mambwe districts being the project's target areas. Republican Vice President Mutale Nalumango, in a speech read on her behalf by Minister of Green Economy Collins Nzovu, stated that government is ready to partner with NGOs involved in reaching out to many persons living with disabilities. Meanwhile, German Ambassador to Zambia, Her Excellency Annie Wagner Michel, is delighted with the cooperation between ADRA and CBM, and that the German Development Cooperation Network is ready to fund the project. And ADRA Country Director Kenneth Habasimbi said the project seeks to eradicate the barriers that people with disabilities are faced with. He said removing these barriers will reach out to the less privileged in society. Here's a report.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA, has launched the Disability Inclusive Disaster Reduction Project, which will run for the next 3 years. The project will be implemented by both ADRA and its partner entity, Zambia Federation of Disability Organizations, ZAFOD. The project's major aim is to reduce growing risks affecting people with disabilities that are climate-related hazards.
The sustainable livelihoods, and we've seen how climate change basically affects the livelihoods of our people, especially in the rural areas, including the cities, also peri-urban. We work also in the health sector, in the education sector, environment. And lastly, the emergency management. We have been working with the DMMU and other funding agencies, basically to ameliorate the sufferings which people go through because of disasters. Guest of honor, why are we here today? We are here to launch a project basically on disability inclusion, especially in disaster risk reduction, planning side of things, being prepared so that when a disaster strikes, we are ready, especially for people with disabilities. And so, in partnership with CBM, ZAFOD, basically ADRA, and the funding from the German government through CBM, this project has come to fruition. And so today, we are basically launching that project.
The DIDRR project is funded by the Germany Development Cooperation Network BMZ through the Christian Blind Mission CBM, a Germany-based organization operating in various countries including Zambia.
and to support the government, the work of the DMMU in particular, the work of non-governmental organizations like ADRA and CBM are very important. Their focus is on addressing the needs of the most vulnerable members of the society, including their needs when it comes to disaster management and responses.
CBM, our core business is to work with the government in the countries where we are working to improve the quality of life of persons with disability. CBM has been working in Zambia for over 40 years, and our work has been focused on supporting the government of the Republic of Zambia and other implementing partners to improve the quality of life of persons with disability.
In a speech read on behalf of the Vice President Her Honor Mtalena Lumango by Minister of Green Economy Collins Zovu, she said concerted efforts between government and partnering organizations like ADRA, CBM and ZAFOD will help government reach to the people living with disabilities in the country.
To say that this speaks exactly to what the government aspires to achieve through the 8th National Development Plan as reflected in the theme, socio-economic transformation for improved livelihoods. On behalf of the government, I would like to appreciate this partnership, and we will use our authority to ensure that all the objectives are achieved in order to bring sustainable development to our people, especially our friends living with disabilities.
The project will be implemented in Gwembe and Mambwe districts, directly targeting to reach out to age 25 people living with and without disabilities. Mwene Muyanga, Hope News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, Disaster Risk Management Director, Anson Banda, has disclosed that his institution is working towards making policies affecting risk management, which will include persons living with disabilities. Mr. Banda said that DMMU is currently reviewing the legal framework which guides risk management and would like to work with both persons living with disabilities and institutions like ADRA, CBM and ZAFOD, which seek to help people with disabilities. He was speaking during ADRA's launch of the Disability Inclusive Disaster Risk Reduction DIDRR at Mulungushi International Conference Center in Lusaka today.
The issue of disaster is created and centered upon the interaction of a hazard and vulnerability. And we recognize the issue of social justice and marginalization and discrimination when it comes to disaster risk management programs, both before the disaster happens, during when the disaster has happened, and also when we are talking about recovery activities and resilience creation activities. So from the disaster management point of view, we are very, very much excited, although like the previous speakers before me have said, it's only 2 districts, but we feel that this is the beginning where we are talking about the total inclusion in terms of decision-making, the total inclusion in terms of participation for persons with disabilities. The national coordinator was very much excited, and we looked at the outputs of this program. For example, the first output of the expected objectives of this program is to ensure that persons with disabilities are included in disaster risk management processes, strategies, and policies. So we are talking about this inclusion not only at national level. We are talking about this inclusion especially at community level. And the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, Honorable Minister, does have programs which relate to community-based disaster risk management. And as we go forward, Honorable Minister, the National Coordinator also asked me to inform this gathering that the Disaster Management Unit with stakeholders is actually reviewing the legal and policy frameworks which relate to disaster management. We are in the process of reviewing the National Disaster Management Policy. We are in the process, Honorable Minister, Your Excellency the Ambassador, of reviewing the National Disaster Management Act, and also we are in the process of reviewing the National Disaster Management Operations Manual.
Finally, in our news, after 12 long years of construction, Gemba Mission District Pastor's House has been completed and handed over to the pastor in the district. The house has been completed thanks to Gemba Central Adventist Congregation in Monze with assistance from the South Zambia Conference. South Zambia Conference President Pastor Gladwin Mangwato says 25% of pastors in the conference are living in rented apartments. Pastor Mangwato says the conference has since come up with a five-point strategic plan which will also cater for infrastructure development, which will help build houses for pastors in the conference. He has since thanked members of Gemba Central Church and the community for working for the work and effort they put in to building the house. Meanwhile, Chief Jongo of the Tonga-speaking people in Monze district has expressed gratitude towards the development in his chiefdom and has urged the conference to extend this gesture to other places in the conference. Here is a report.
Pastors' accommodation is one challenge that South Zambia Conference has suffered from over the years. It is for this reason that the conference came up with a 5-point strategic plan which include infrastructure development to help overcome this challenge.
Our strategic planning has 5 areas that we are looking at, and we are taking this road in every activity. We have a very big challenge in our conference. 25% of the houses occupied by the pastors are rented houses. And so we have taken this road that bit, by God's grace, we can be building houses for the pastor. We are here in Kemba to open one of the new buildings that has been built by Kemba Mission District in conjunction with the office South Zambia Conference.
Chief Chongo is happy with this development.
Otherwise, we are very grateful to South Zambia Conference for heavily facilitating in the building of this house of our pastor here. We are grateful to the people of Kemba Mission District, our district pastor, our church elders, the deacons and all the congregants for being patient in the years that we started building this house. And today, we are very happy that the conference president, Pastor Mangwato, and his entourage from the conference came to officially give this house to our pastor. As Chief Jongo and a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, myself, I'm saying we are very happy, and we are urging the church not to stop building such houses, especially in the rural areas. If we can have pastors' houses like this one we are witnessing here today in Kemba Mission District, in many places, then our men and women of God will actually be having decent accommodation.
The members of Kemba SDA Church and community are delighted with the works of the conference.
We are so delighted with this structure that is standing behind me. Looking at the old structure where the pastors were staying before this, definitely it was not a good one. It was so dilapidated, not only dilapidated but also small. Not only small, also in a way a death trap, because it is completely eaten downward. Therefore, to receive such a structure as a district, we are so delighted. I would like to thank the members for the contributions that they made, because it has taken long and with a lot of sacrifice. Also want to thank the conference for completing this structure. There are many districts that need such structures, but for them to look at us and consider us at this time, we are so delighted, we are so happy. We praise God, and we pray for the leadership at the conference so that God may continue guiding them and leading them.
Lubona Lianda, reporting for Hope Channel News in Monze District, Southern Province.
Brings us to the end of the news. Let's take another look at stories that made headlines. Government intervenes in the Fortune Trading and Mutoya family impasse. Ministry of Information and Media Director Kawana promises reduced milk prices in the next 2 weeks. ADRA Zambia and CBM of Germany have partnered to roll out the DRR project in 2 districts of Zambia. And Igemba Mission District Pastor's House, which has been under construction for the past 12 years, has been completed and handed over to the district pastor. Thank you so much for your time. On behalf of the entire studio and production team, I'm Bright Sinkozi, and on sign language, we have George Kalimuka. God bless, and bye for now.